It's Sunday, June 30th, 2024. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. A few things I want to talk about with all of you today. I was reading some news this morning, jotted down some notes. Love to get your thoughts on this, so please feel free to comment down below. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Quite an interesting week in regards to the economy, the debate, all of that. And it really leaves you thinking about where all this is going and how you should be preparing. I opened this earlier. I got this last week. I'll show you what's inside of this. This stuff is very, very important. Stay tuned to the rest of this video. This, to me, is one of the most important assets you can have for what is coming. But I want to start with this first article from King World News titled, "The Coming Global Collapse Will Be Far Worse Than 2008. And I've been saying for years, I think this is something that is going to be much closer and quite possibly worse than the 1929 collapse that brought on the Great Depression. I think we're going to see another depression, Great Depression 2.0, which will be even worse than the 29 collapse. It says here, people are still riding the high of parabolic tech stocks. Almost nobody realizes the coming collapse will be far worse than 2008. I don't even think you can compare the two. This is so much worse. You've got bigger debts, bigger deficits, more wars, the division in this country, the social breakdown, the morality breakdown of the United States, the crime. It just goes on and on and on. Of course, inflation. Job losses. We are way worse than we were in 2008. The international and domestic monetary system is broken. Eventually, this will lead to a cataclysmic event, a result of a broken system. There is no doubt the system here and globally is broken. Take a look at global debt. It is blowing up. So you have to be preparing for this stuff. And the first thing that you can do to prepare is wake up and realize that the system is broken, that we are witnessing a meltdown now of the entire system. And once you realize and can admit that there's a problem, then you can begin to take action. But there are too many people in denial. There are too many people ignoring what is going on. Take the debate last week, for instance. How many people are ignoring what really took place? I'm not going to sit here and get political. I'm not going to sit here and go right, left, or in the middle. We are just talking about the reality. People are ignoring reality. They are turning their backs to reality. Again, people are not admitting what they saw at that debate. They're not admitting what is happening to the U.S. economy, but at some point they're going to be forced to admit it because they're going to fall victim to all of this. The Fed-induced housing crisis. I was reading this on The Hedge this morning. Now, if you get a few minutes, read these articles, look these articles up, take a few minutes, do your homework. The Fed caused a majority of this inflation. And now everybody is going to pay for their mistake. From trillion-dollar infrastructure bills to the health crisis stimulus and other government expenditures, plus you can add on Ukraine and many other things. The Fed is not protecting you, and people think that the Fed is going to fix the problem that they created. I don't think it's going to happen. I would say get ready to feel lots and lots of pain. They created this disaster. They created this mess. And now people, again, who cannot accept reality, believe that the people that created this mess can now just fix the mess. And how are they going to fix it? Oh, they'll just cut rates and everything will go back to normal. That's what got us here to begin with. Low rates, money printing, and here we are now dealing with, I don't know, is it 40-year high inflation, 70-year high inflation? Is it all-time high inflation? We don't really know because nobody really knows what the real inflation numbers are. But we do know this, it's affecting all of us, and that's the reality of this, and people are going to feel more and more pain. State Farm seeking 30% rate hike for California homeowners. Here's what to know. State Farm, the largest residential homeowners insurer in California. They insure 1 out of every 5 homes here in the state of California. They just recently hiked rates 20%. Now, in 2025, they say they're going to raise another 30%. Why the big increases? Is it greed, or is there another issue here? Are they in trouble? Are these major insurance companies in trouble? Is State Farm in trouble? Is this why they're raising rates to such a large number? Comment on any of this below, ladies and gentlemen. It is just frightening to think that people are going to continue to pay these exorbitant amounts for home insurance. How are, between property taxes, home insurance, utilities that are skyrocketing, how are people who own a home right now going to be able to keep their homes if this keeps up? And heaven forbid, somebody in that household loses a job, it is game over. This is really scary stuff. And it is not getting better, it is getting worse. And if something isn't done quickly, there's going to be millions of people in very, very big trouble. King World News, central banks expect to keep buying gold in large quantities. 56% of central banks see the dollar share of world reserves shrinking through the rest of this decade, including 64% of emerging nations' central banks. The dollar accounted for 70% of global foreign exchange reserves in 2000, but has decreased to 55% in 2023. So that is a big decrease. The dollar is losing its strength around the world, and nations are going to other forms of money. They're using their own currencies. They're buying oil, trading oil in their own currencies now. The BRICS nations, they're talking about a gold-backed currency. Digital possibly, all this stuff, it really now is all evolving. We're watching an evolution of a new financial system, new currencies, new digital currencies, currencies backed by stuff like this. And this is what I got here from SD Bullion, and I just wanted to open this up for you. So gold buffalo, beautiful, beautiful piece of gold here. And this is the back of it. I don't know if you can really see this, but I got this from SD Bullion. I believe that this is probably the most important time in our history to be owning real tangible assets that I think are on sale right now. Look, it's not cheap to buy gold. If you can't afford to buy gold, get yourself some silver. But with what I'm reading, looking at this data daily, watching other videos, watching world events, watching the debate, watching what's happening to the US dollar, watching what's happening to the BRICS nations, watching what the central banks across the globe are doing, looking at the global debt, the US debt, looking at big trouble, storm clouds on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. It is why I buy stuff like this. This isn't a flex. This isn't to say, oh, look, I just spent, $2,000+ No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm trying to walk the walk the best that I can, and I'm trying to be an example to other people that, look, you've got to make sacrifices. You cut out the Vegas trips, you cut out going to dinner, you cut out a vacation, and you buy stuff like this. I got that at SD Bullion. You can go to my link down below. You can go anywhere you want. If you want to buy gold or silver, go wherever your heart desires to buy it. I'm not here to tell you or sell you to go to SD Bullion. I've been dealing with SD Bullion for over 6.5 years. Great company, efficient. They're awake. They know what's going on. I've never had an issue with them. So I will always give them a great review. And so I would never recommend them if I didn't use them personally. I wouldn't recommend to you that you should be getting in the best shape of your life if I wasn't trying to do that. I wouldn't recommend that you're boxing, wrestling, doing jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, whatever. I wouldn't recommend any of this. I wouldn't recommend you go to the range. I wouldn't recommend that you get proficient with those tools if I wasn't doing it myself. I wouldn't tell you, to go out and make sure that you have a good blade with you, that, you're getting proficient with your tools. I would never tell you to do any of this if I wasn't doing it myself. You need to be preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, across the board, walking close to God. You've got to have the skills So much is happening in the world today. You've got to have the skills to protect yourself, your assets, your family. You've got to protect yourself financially. You've got to protect yourself spiritually. And these are things that we have to be working on daily. We all need to be walking the walk. You know, there's just too many fakes out here. Too many people just trying to sell garbage that is not going to be any sort of asset for when the lights go out, when times really, really get bad. You need to invest in yourself. You need to have food, water. You need to have some silver laying around, some barterable, silver, some constitutional silver. You need to have some cash. You need to have a cash reserve put away. These are things that I'm trying to do. Could I do more? Absolutely. There are people doing a lot more than me. But as I sit here today with a microphone and a camera, I want to share this with you. I'm doing something. And I think if we're all doing something, it's going to benefit us at the worst time. So these are the things that I think you need to be doing, because when the bad times hit, you need to have this stuff. You need to have some skills. You need to have some training. You need to have some tangible assets, some cash, food, water, all that. I cannot stress that enough. It is so imperative, and I'm going to keep drilling this in everybody's head daily, that you walk the walk now. This is a lifestyle. This is no game. It's not a movie. It's not make-believe. We're in 2024, and things are off the rails. Here's another one today from The Hedge. Are MTA subway tracks in Queens being held together by zip ties? Now, nobody really has an answer. I was looking at the pictures of this. If you check out the article, you'll see all these zip ties on the tracks, on the subway tracks. Nobody really has an answer, but it does not look good, especially when you have all these newcomers staying at 4-star hotels in New York, and there's zip ties holding railroad tracks together in New York. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. Here's another one. Shuttered California LTL carrier files for bankruptcy. This is a company that was in business for 70 years. We talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago. Another reminder that nobody is immune from losing a job. Less than a truckload carrier, Tony's Express of Fontana, California, and I want to bring this up again. I know we talked about this company a while back. Fontana is probably 45 minutes from here, not very, very far. Has filed for bankruptcy protection nearly 3 months after it abruptly ceased operations by notifying around 200 truck drivers, warehouse workers, and office personnel that they didn't have a job. They texted the workers on March 28th that they were closing their doors. Nobody got the previous week paycheck. People didn't get paid. And you know that 80% of this country is paycheck to paycheck. These people didn't get a paycheck. I want to reiterate with all of you, nobody is immune from losing a job. And what happens when, maybe you're an independent contractor, maybe you lose a job and you don't get a paycheck? What do you do? What do you do? What do these people do? They have, car payments, house payments, rent payments, credit card payments. They didn't get a check. Again, this is why on a daily basis, I remind all of you to make sure you have a cash reserve put away for an emergency. Maybe you lose a job. Maybe you lose a job and you don't get paid. Maybe you're an independent contractor and a client doesn't pay you. This could change your life if you're not prepared. And this is happening every day now. Shifting gears, here's another one. I let my guard down. Man randomly attacked with spear outside Dallas bar. I was reading this last week, and it actually occurred last Saturday. A Dallas man was brutally assaulted while he and his girlfriend were at this bar. They were on an outdoor patio, and there's a sidewalk area where people walk by, and the bar patio was right there. Guy's walking by with a big spear, and he takes it and he just whacks this guy over the head. And then as he walks away or starts to run away, he punches another bystander, knocks him to the ground. This happening literally on a daily basis now. This in Dallas, Texas. Again, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. When you see a gentleman walking down a sidewalk with a large spear, and this is on a video, you can watch the video. I'm not even shocked by this stuff because I see it every day. But when you're witnessing somebody, late at night, early in the morning, walking down a sidewalk with a spear, you should probably be aware of what's going on. You've got to be paying attention. This guy is going to look like he's going to be okay, but it could have been much, much worse. And here's another one. Police search for suspect in Palm Desert bank robbery. This happened a few days ago, June 26, 2 p.m. afternoon. Palm Desert Sheriff's Station was dispatched to a bank robbery off Highway 111. They don't say the name of the bank. The suspect, 50 to 60 years old, he had a ponytail. They don't say really how he did it, if he had a weapon, if he threatened the clerk or the teller. So not a lot of description here. But again, it's another reminder that it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Palm Desert, and we're not new to bank robberies. We were having a lot of bank robberies a few years back out here, and I guess it's starting up all over again. But these are the dangerous times, ladies and gentlemen. So you could be vacationing in the beautiful desert, and now you're dealing with bank robberies at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what's going on. When people get hungry, when they're losing jobs, when they don't have money, when they get desperate, they're going to do desperate things. And people are going to rob more banks. They're going to rob more stores. They're going to rob more people. It just goes on and on and on. I'm going to close with this last one, internet addiction. What it is doing to teen brains. We have more zombies, and we're producing more zombies. So many young kids. I think the worst thing you could do is give your kid one of these, because it doesn't really allow them to have access to the entire world. No, now the world has entire access to your kid. And so many people just give their kid one of these or an iPad, and then now their kid's in the room all day looking at God knows what, who knows who's communicating with the kid. But it literally is rotting their brains and turning their brains into jello. And I wonder why so many people don't have communication skills. When you go to a restaurant, when you go to a store, when you need a service and you talk to somebody, or you even pick up the phone, call somebody, people don't really have communication skills because all they do is text and email, and they sit on the internet all day watching garbage and TikTok videos, and their brain just becomes jello. And so we're just creating more and more zombies, and we're doing this at a very, very young age. Think about, kids that are, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old on this stuff for years and years and years. What is it going to produce? What is the next generation going to look like when they can't even put, two or three words together? Again, I think this is one of the worst things you could give your kid, and allowing your kid to just sit on these devices all day for hours and hours. I got to give credit to Texas Silver, my good friend Aaron. His kid does jiu-jitsu 3 days a week now. And just getting your kids into sports, your kids should be doing jiu-jitsu. They should all have self-defense skills starting at a young age, because that is a skill they will take through the rest of their life. But getting your kids out of the house, into sports, into activities, into self-defense, into something other than glued to this. And just think, years and years of just looking down at a device, what that's doing to your neck. The chiropractors are going to be very, very busy in the next decade or two. But it's very, very disturbing, the addiction now to the internet at such a young age. So I wanted to just talk about that. Let me know your thoughts on any of this. It's a very, very hot day. I think 115 today in the desert. This week, I think we're going up to 117. But guess what? I still have to train. You still have to train. Even though we don't want to do things, we do it. We push ourselves. And I think that, when you have discipline, when you set goals, when you don't quit, when you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, this is all going to pay off when the bad times get here. So stay on track. Keep training, keep getting stronger mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Keep making those sacrifices and keep putting away for a rainy day, because we are going to see massive storms here in America. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you. God bless you. God bless America.